Hey everyone, Codesolf here. I just want to say a few things before we begin. This video is going to be a little bit different in the sense that it's going to be more of a gameplay montage topped with some VO that I made about different aspects of the game. The gameplay and the VO aren't always going to match, so if you're confused by that, I do apologize. This video did get a little rushed as I want to try and get it out as soon as possible due to the fact that the open beta has started and things have changed, such as them adding a submachine gun called the Harpy, which is essentially just a rapid-fire TMP that shreds enemies, and a new hack as well, which is Shockwave. I can't say much about Shockwave as I barely have used it, but it doesn't really seem to be that effective. Also, in this video, I do mention that you need to hold on to the crown for a minute. It's actually only 45 seconds, but when you watch it, you'll understand more. Alright, that's all I have for you. Take it away, me. Hyper Scape is a soon-to-be-released title and is Ubisoft's answer to the Battle Royale genre that has become heavily populated due to the likes of Fortnite, Call of Duty's Warzone, and Apex Legends. But does Hyper Scape do enough to stand out among the rest, or is it just another failed attempt by a developer trying to get a slice of the free-to-play pie? This title stands out among the rest off the gate due to the smart Twitch integration that Ubi has implemented on the game, which can change how certain rounds go, but I'll explain more of that later. I'll be discussing the experience I had playing the technical test and what I thought about the game in general. The footage in the background is my footage I captured on the last day of the test, which also happened to be the most fun I had with it. Honestly, I didn't want to stop playing it. Note that I'm not a pro and that it's meant to be more of a guide or filler rather than a showing of skill. Trust me, I am not that good. When stepping foot into the land of Hyper Scape, you feel like you're in the Animus from Assassin's Creed, which was never not a cool feeling. You go through a brief tutorial, honestly it's very quick, showing you the absolute basics of the game, before being able to jump in and start playing. At least, playing for real. Right off the bat, you notice the game runs almost flawlessly. I never changed my settings as it was seemingly on the highest graphics, and I never felt the need to actually have to change anything, just due to how well it ran and how pretty it looked. I was only running the game in 1080p, so I'm not sure the performance on 2K, 4K, although I'm sure it runs just as good. Games like this need to have the absolute best performance, and this game nailed it. The lobby can hold up to 100 players, or 99 I guess, with teams of 3 being dispersed among the 99. I really like the lobby loading in as there is a ton of fun things you can parkour on, with specific objects needing very precise timing to actually climb on. You can also emote and interact with other players before the round begins. You can also look out at the city you're going to be fighting in and get a nice look of the land. But going back to the parkour, I mean, come on, for players who have played the little cubes that are stacked up in that area that you need to time your jump, man, those are fun. My definition of fun is not that good. When the round starts, every player is in a specific pod and can freely choose to go wherever they want. The map is quite large. When you pick a spot and go, you can easily see other players drop near you as there is a red beacon that will briefly show their landing so you can mentally get prepared to fight. Keep in mind though, they're also seeing the same thing, so if you know where they are, they most likely know where you are. Hitting the ground, the gameplay still feels very smooth, and that familiar feeling of, oh shit, I need to find some protection, don't overthink that, takes in and the scramble for weapons and hacks begin. Hacks are something that make this game different from the rest, as they are powers you can obtain and activate to give you an edge in battle. Slam launches you in the air before plummeting you to the ground with a devastating AoE slam. Wall puts up a barrier that can guard you from enemy damage or be used to platform on when going rooftop to rooftop. Teleport shoots you a short distance away, giving you brief invulnerability while teleporting. Invisibility makes you literally go invisible to either sneak up on an unsuspecting team or to escape from grave danger. Armor encases you in a metal of sorts, and you're invulnerable to all damage, however you can't deal any in return. Ball puts you in a ball and protects you. I mean, what else would you think it does? Think of armor, but with less defense and a lot more mobility. Heal creates a healing field for you and your allies. Mine puts a proximity mine where activated and will seek out enemies who enter its vision field. Finally, Reveal will show enemies that are in front of you and will call out any danger that may be in the field of view. You can evolve or upgrade these hacks along with the weapons you obtain by finding the same hack or weapon in the field. You can do this 4 to 5 times and they get exponentially stronger each time. My favorite hacks have to be Mine, Invisibility, and Teleport. Teleport and invisibility are great for combat, verticality, and just maneuverability in general. They really come in handy when the situation gets a little too hot to handle and you need to make your escape. Mine is fun to set up traps with inside buildings or to use as a last-minute resort when fighting. The slam hack is fun to use, especially when finishing off an enemy who is running away. It's also pretty good when you yourself are running away, although you do get briefly exposed due to the delay before you slam whilst you're in the air. I did find out that late game, armor and ball are easily the best hacks to have, especially when you have the crown. Once again, more on that later. The game only has a decent amount of weapons, but I found that they were all fun to use. They also feel different from one another, and I found that mixing and matching was a great way to get better rather than sticking with the same old the entire time. For pistols, magnums, revolvers, whatever you want to call them, you have the D-Tap, which is like an auto pistol but does very little damage, and the Riot 1. Essentially the wingman from Apex Legends. I like it a little bit better, but I'm also trashed with the wingman, so that is just my opinion. For assault rifles, we only have the one, which is the Ripper. It's just a standard use machine gun, R301, whatever. Only one for the shotgun, and that is the Mammoth Mark I that cakes enemies up close when fully evolved. Continuing the trend of only one gun per category, there is only one sniper as well, which is the Protocol V, or Protocol 5, I'm not sure. It's similar to the shotgun in the sense that when fully upgraded, it can dome enemies in one shot and absolutely packs a punch. There are also heavier weapons in the game as well. We have the Hexfire, a devastating minigun, which actually needed to get nerfed just a few days into the game test because it was just so overpowered. The Komodo is a plasma launcher that shreds upon contact. The Salvo EPL is a 6-shot grenade launcher that is great when shooting into enclosed rooms. Finally, the Skybreaker is the most similar to a rocket launcher, but instead of rockets, it shoots a giant orb that obliterates enemies that are caught in it. As I mentioned before, all weapons were fun to use, with some personal highlights being the fully evolved Shoddy and the Salvo or Komodo. It took me a few firefights to really get the grip of things, but as time went on I got a lot better, not only at defeating different enemies, but surviving firefights as well. Teamwork is absolutely essential in this game, and getting caught with even a mildly experienced team in a 3v1 or even 2v1 situation can spell the end for you. The gunplay feels very good, with the only issue being the TTK, or time to kill, at the early stages of the game. This seemingly is a common problem a lot of people have, and I fear it's going to be a reason why people turn away. When you upgrade your weapons, it's not as much of a problem, but it's still definitely noticeable early game, like I said before. Getting kills in this game do feel good, and nothing beats the sensation of winning an epic rooftop fight against another team. Seamlessly climbing buildings and parkouring around feels great, and doing so while in combat creates an excellent adrenaline rush that is unmatched. If you do happen to fall in battle, no worries. Rather than being stuck in a position where you have to wait, you can actually freely move your spirit around and find a respawn beacon to come back into the game. These are put in the place of dead bodies, so it can be very risky when spawning back in, especially if the beacon just appeared, as that means that an opponent was recently slain. Sometimes it's beneficial to wait to respawn, as enemies can't see you, but you can see them, allowing you to ping their location to your teammates. Trust me, it sounds a lot more OP than it actually is. There are fun events that the game implements using the Twitch integration system. Events such as infinite ammo, low gravity, extra jump, supply crate, health kit, reveal, and cooldown accelerator can be voted on at specific times to change how the game plays, although some events are too short to actually get a real feel of the effect, and sometimes I didn't even notice an event was happening until the timer ran out for it. The game has a similar mechanic to other Battle Royale titles by having an entity that closes the map, forcing players to gather in a smaller area. We know it as the Fortnite Storm or the PUBG Circle. In this game, the map will deteriorate and phase out as time goes on, and if you're caught in that, you'll take damage and your position will be shown to other players. Once the final stage of this happens, you and the remaining squads enter an event called Crown Rush, where you have to obtain a crown and hold it for a minute while avoiding the multiple players trying to slay you and stop you from winning. It's a unique mechanic, and you would be surprised how many times players have won this way. You can also win if you're the only team left standing, but in my experience the game has only ended from the crown being held, or from, our squad dying. I only won once while playing, and that was because my squad mate bravely grabbed the crown and was able to hold it for the allotted time, using armor and ball to his advantage. Winning this way may not feel as satisfying as being the last man standing, or team standing, but it's still a cool feeling nevertheless. You get a neat little victory screen at the end and the overall performance of you and your teammates. This also shows up when you die, minus the victory screen of course. Summarizing my overall thoughts of the game, I thought the gameplay and the combat in this game feel very good and very satisfying, with the mods being a nice little mechanic that adds a lot and makes the game feel different from the rest. While I wish the TTK was a little better, those problems go away when you play the game the way it's meant to be played by evolving hacks, weapons, and being more aggressive. The Twitch integration is unique, but I don't feel like it does enough to feel that important. I like the respawn system as you never feel bored when you die, as you still have an important role to your team's success. While not as gratifying as being the last squad standing, the Crown Rush event is still fun and creates a unique sense of urgency that you don't get when your only focus is killing. Side note, I played a single player mode they had for one of the days where a fog was over the map and only a few weapons were available. I wasn't a huge fan of this mode, but I appreciate them trying to implement solos for single players, as not everyone likes the idea of pairing with strangers. The music is passable and the world looks like a city straight out of Assassin's Creed, but with a futuristic theme slapped right on top. This sounds like a complaint, but it definitely isn't. The characters in this game, yes you can select characters, are neat, but they don't stand out like Apex Legends, who arguably have the most memorable characters amongst all of the Battle Royale games, minus maybe Fortnite, but I still think Apex Legends takes the crown in that regard. The biggest problem I have with Hyper Scape is I don't feel like it does enough to stand out among the rest of the crowd. It has a lot of unique mechanics, and I had a lot of fun playing it. That being said, there has to be more than great gunplay, and I just don't think this will capture the attention like other titles have. I am personally a fan, I really am, but I don't think this game is going to be the next big thing, and calling it a Fortnite killer is asinine. I only played the technical test for the game though. There could be more content that they have not shown that releases with the title. These thoughts or experiences or whatever you want to call them were with the test only, so if you're watching this in the future, just remember this was for the test only. I know it was a little different, but I still hope everyone enjoyed this video. And do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you think I'm absolutely wrong? The game did just release today in open beta, so I hope to be streaming this game as it is really fun to play and is pretty addicting. I hope to be adding more Hyper Scape content in the future as well. Give this video a like, let me know your thoughts with the title, or this video for that matter, and please give me a nice old subscribe and click that notification bell while you're at it. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/codesoff and Facebook Gaming at, well, codesoff. I want to thank each and every one of you for checking out my video, and remember, please remember, never forget that it's dangerous to go alone, so let's go on this journey together.